First of all, I just, we're obviously thrilled. We got a lot of respect for Brown. Brown's beaten us the last 2 times we've played them. So we came into this game respecting their coaching staff and team a great deal. But I'm thrilled for our seniors more than anyone. The last time we came out and competed on this field was senior day and against this very team, and we didn't play the way we thought we were capable of. And you got to give a lot of credit to Brown. We thought they came in there with their backs against the wall and played very well. So today I thought our guys played with a lot more energy coming off the Princeton win. The danger was coming in here with a little bit of a lull in terms of the emotion, but our seniors, in particular this guy to my left, Austin Boykin, really responded tonight and gave us a chance to put together 60 minutes of what we thought was sound lacrosse.
Questions?
Austin, 2 weeks ago, Brown won 15-27 on the Reds. What can you talk about what changed tonight for you?
Well, I think it's just probably the first 5 minutes going into the game was going to be the biggest for us in terms of winning those first couple of face-offs. Last 2 weeks ago, we went against them. We were 0 for 7 in the first quarter, which obviously is unacceptable. And really, if we get the ball to our offense, they'll take care of it and do the job. Going all throughout the week, we had such a big emphasis on obviously the face-off X and our wing play as well. We have some of the best ground ball guys in the country: Pierce Durkak, Roy Lang, Jack Dudley. So it was all about just kind of staying in there, grinding, really giving those guys a chance to fight for it. All week I had Chip Doherty, who gave me a great look of their main face-off guy, number 41, all week. He wasn't for him, nothing of that would have happened tonight.
Do you think after it becomes lopsided to a point that maybe you get in their heads a little bit?
Obviously, they're doing a little extra thinking when they start throwing a bunch of different guys out there, especially when they start putting the pole out there. It tends to be more of a defensive move, and so at that point we just have to communicate with my wings better through Coach Georgialis about how we're going to handle that kind of pressure.
Coach, can you talk about what your attack was doing on the ride to force them into so many mistakes on their clears?
I thought this game, in comparison to the last game, they hustled. And I don't think it was so much X's and O's. It wasn't. I'd love to take credit for putting these guys into specific spots and saying, geez, we did a lot this week to try to recognize what they were doing. I thought we did a good job of creating some challenging looks. We didn't let the short six run the ball out. Tried to have their poles carry the ball as much as possible. But for the most part, I thought between Stephen Mock, Ross Gillum, Rob Cornell, and Ryan Hurley, they brought a lot of heart and determination not to let the ball out of our offensive end. And I think if you look at the last time that we played against these guys, there's very little resistance to that, and Brown took advantage of it.
Can you talk about the development of Steve over the course of the season and what Ryan Hurley has done the last couple of games too?
Yeah, Steve, I didn't know if he was going to make it, to be very honest with you, out of the fall, and we worked tirelessly with this young man in terms of just overall effort and persistence. And to his credit, and actually we talked about this tonight at dinner with the coaching staff about how far he's come, and he's provided just a wonderful spark off the bench. A guy that's and if you look back to the log of the games that we played, some big ones too. Scores a big time goal against Princeton, scores 2 goals against Stony Brook when we needed him, and then tonight, no different, comes in off the bench. Probably played about 32 minutes, and scores 4 goals. So he's provided an extremely reliable, both on and off ball attackman. And the better Rob Cornell, the better Ryan Hurley play, the easier it's going to be for guys like Ross and Steven. That's the way it is. That's the way it should be for our underclassmen. And then looking at Ryan Hurley, 2 weeks ago, I think he knew more than anyone. No one needed to point it out that he wasn't playing as well as Ryan Hurley could play. If you look at his goals, look at his points, he was doing okay. But I think it came to a point where we just needed more out of him. We weren't playing as well as we should have offensively, and it was putting a lot of pressure on certain guys and certainly putting a lot of pressure on our defense. And I think Ryan, more than anyone, has put it upon himself to practice harder, to put more responsibility on himself. And it's a great feeling to see a guy that's that well liked and that well respected in our locker room have the kind of games he's had in the last couple of weeks. He's playing the way he's capable of, and it's nice to see his progression.
Jeff, you guys go in the locker room. It's only 6'4" in the stats, and you make it seem that it's a lot bigger differential. Were you worried about how the third quarter would begin, considering that?
You know, we went into the halftime after the first game. It was 7-6 Brown, and I think I take the blame for kind of how we came out in the second half there. We were very upset by the way we were competing and playing. Brown was competing more than we were. This time we came in there, and I really felt we were in great shape, and that's exactly what we said. I thought they looked great in the first half, and I'm not sure I've ever gone into halftime and ever said something like that to our team, that you look great from one end of the field to the other. We had 30 shots, and a goalie had 13 saves. I felt like if we stayed the course, especially the way Austin Boykin was facing off, the way we were riding, that we would eventually wear them down, and I was hopeful that things were going to start to turn our way. And lo and behold, I didn't think it was going to happen that quickly, but lo and behold, we were very fortunate to have scored a couple of goals and build on that momentum early in the third quarter, and we were able to kind of ride that out in the second half of the game.
Yeah, also, in a strange way, did it help you that you got schooled a little bit the last time at the X against them, and that you had something to try to break down and get better at?
No, I mean, yeah, definitely. Obviously, all this week we had so much to work on, and thankfully we had that film to go back and really kind of study each of their guys a little bit more and have a better understanding of what they're trying to do, and the best way to counter that. So, of course, yeah, it's definitely some motivation, and I mean, obviously, very excited to get a second shot at all their face-off guys.